Welcome to Guide to IELTS. A far cry from is an idiom which means very different from. For example, my first phone was a far cry from the one I have today, which just means that my first phone was very different from the phone that I'm using today. Similarly, if I meet a school friend after years, I could say she's a far cry from the kind of person she was in school, which means she has changed a lot. The best use of this idiom in IELTS can be in part 3 of speaking, where questions are often asked about comparing past to present or present to future, or questions are asked to compare the older generation to the younger generation. For example, if the question is, how have schools changed in the last decade in your country? My answer could be, well, even if it's just been 10 years, the schools today are a far cry from the schools of a decade ago. The usage of technology and audiovisual media is more prevalent than it used to be in the past. Another question, what is the difference between clothes that old people and young people like to wear? I think the choice of the elderly is a far cry from the choice of youngsters as far as their clothing and fashion choice is concerned. This idiom can also be used if there's a question about future. For example, how do you think entertainment will change in the future? Answer. Oh, I think it'll be a far cry from what it is today. Even though we have tons of options today for entertainment, I think this is still the tip of the iceberg. This idiom can be used in part 1 also. If you're asked a question about clothes, what kind of clothes do you usually wear? The answer could be, I'm big on comfort wear. So when I'm at home, you generally find me in t-shirts and shorts. And if I have to step out, I switch shorts for jeans. Next question, do you wear such clothes on formal occasions? Now, since I want to say that my formal wear is very different from my regular daily wear, I'll use the idiom a far cry from in this one. So the question was, do you wear such clothes on formal occasions? My answer, oh, certainly not. My formal attire is a far cry from my daily wear clothes. I either go in a formal suit or some ethnic wear depending on whether it's a professional event or a family function. Another example from part 1. Has your hometown changed since you were a child? Of course, it's a far cry from what it used to be. If there's a question about ebooks versus physical books, the experience of reading from ebooks is a far cry from that of physical books. This idiom can also be used to enhance your writing. In writing task 2, if I'm writing about education methods of the past versus now, I could write, with advent of technology, education methods underwent a drastic change. As a result, the way students are taught today is a far cry from the ways of the past. Another statement for an essay, this one about junk food and obesity. While one school of thought is that junk food is the main culprit behind obesity, there are those whose opinion is a far cry from this. In an essay about rural and urban lifestyle, the rural lifestyle is a far cry from the urban one. In writing task 1 of general, where we have to write a letter, if the question is about writing to a friend about having changed my job, I could make a sentence like, the work culture at my new office is very positive and flexible, which is a far cry from my previous job. If I'm writing to express my dissatisfaction to a hotel manager, I could write, the least we expected was a clean and hygienic room, but unfortunately the reality was a far cry from our expectations. We can also use this idiom in writing task 1 academic, where we have to write a report. While writing about this map, we could make a statement, the facilities available after development are a far cry from those before. Similarly, in this bar graph, we could make a statement, the production and consumption figures of US and China are a far cry from these figures for the other 8 countries. That's it for now. Hope this helped you. Try making sentences using this idiom. Leave them in the comments below. Do like, share, and subscribe. All the very best.